Welcome back, everybody. Obviously, I meant to do that, but I tell you what, this post-game show, we got a damn good show.
We got a damn good show. This show is also brought to you by BetUS. Let's just go ahead and double down.
Pay us again.
This stream is brought to you by BetUS Postgame Show, our sportsbook for the entire season. Appreciate y'all. And thank y'all for coming in. We got 27 here already. Hit that like button as we do this post-game show. Sorry, technical difficulties. Gabe's OBS decided to crash on him.
It's been crashing when I try to change scenes sometimes. It's like it didn't do it the last two streams, so I don't know. I don't know what it is.
But we back and we back and we back and we back and we back. Patrick Mahomes, remember, it's gone because it ran out, because it only lasts for a month when you're gifted. So keep that in mind, by the way. So I hope you are feeling good about that dub. Before we said, Gabe asked me how I felt about Beal as he was switching over. And
hey, I'm gonna take my dogs out. You tell them about Beal, and I'll be listening.
My thing about Beal is he's been out again. He's rusty. He was 3 of 8, only had 6 points. I wasn't too impressed on that. But he did have 7 assists. He was involved with the offense. He didn't look lost in the offense. He just wasn't hitting the shots. And so I'll take it. I'll reserve criticism for now. Give him the pass for his first game back in about 3 weeks. He didn't get hurt. So, let's just go ahead and clap for that, right? Clap for that. He didn't get hurt. He played 30 minutes. Last time we saw him, he only played for 2. So we just gotta take what we can get. We just gotta take what we can get. First game back with the big three is a dub. I know it's against the Hornets. I know a lot of people are gonna say, "Oh, we shouldn't have let the Hornets score 120, 119, whatever." I agree with you. The defense was atrocious. Rozier cooked us for 42, and Miller cooked us for 20. A lot of those were on 3-point shots. Rozier 8 of 12, Miller 6 of 10. That's just ridiculous. They ended up shooting 50% from 3-point range, 23 of 46. And luckily, we just decided to shoot better. We shot 62% from the field, 62% from 3, and that's what got us the dub. And I'll just say this, it's awesome to see what the offense looks like with the big three, with them sharing the ball, moving the ball around the horn, dudes having open shots. Gordon had 21 as a 6-man. This is what we talked about, in the beginning of the season, that Gordon would be that 6-man dropping, double digits, and he did here. Shot all threes because he is 7 of 12 from the field and 7 of 12 from 3. So he shot all threes and he hit 21 points on it. So that's what you want to see from Gordon. Metu was solid with 9 points. Lee only had 1, as Ubike didn't have anything, and Goodwin barely played, so he doesn't count. But man, just our defense, bro. Grayson Allen, TC, he was 6 of 8 from the field, 2 of 4 from 3. He had 16 points. So, across the board, it was solid. I really wish we could get a grip on what we're doing on defense. I feel like that's the next step. But I don't know if it's ever going to happen, if I'm being honest with you guys. And I'll be happy to be wrong. But I'm of the belief that defense is mindset, culture, and habit. And if you're not going to have the mindset and culture during the regular season, I just don't think you flip that switch on during the playoffs if you make the playoffs. That's just my belief. I just feel like you start your habits early and you keep them and you continue them throughout the season. And so it's just, I don't know. I hope we can fix it. I don't have hope that we can. I hope we do. The rotations are bad. Effort on rotations are bad. If a dude's wide open, nobody goes and checks him. So, at this point, this team has to be all throttle, and keep their foot on the throttle and outscore everybody like they're doing now until then. And I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I really would like to see a better defensive effort. Like I said earlier in the stream, we are a god awful last place defense in the league. Like, can we get to 20? Like, even 20 would be fine, right? And it's really a shame because that was like the thing that we wanted for Frank Vogel, right? Like, I said a few streams ago when we lost to the Blazers, I said, what does this team do well that we were sold on that they were going to do? And in that game, it was they were going to play good defense and be long on defense. They're not that. They don't rotate. And they're going to be a 3-and-D team and hit threes with all their length. Well, the D's gone. Now they're hitting threes as of the last 2 games, so there's that. But at the end of the day, like, the big threes are back. The team looked good. Offense looked good. Booker looked great. I want to say, give me one more game before I start saying Booker's back, but Booker's back, right? He's done being cold. Durant looked great. Nurkic, let's just talk about Big Daddy Nurk. He was 10 of 13, really balled out, had another double-double. Love use of Nurkic, bro. Him and Azubike, he was a revelation this year, but I feel like Azubike, the emergence of him in the last 4 games has been awesome too, so I really like that too. And that's really it. Positive that we got the win. Big three's back. Hopefully they expand on the offense. It looks better. We shot 62%, even with Bradley Beal being 3 of 8. Just imagine if Bradley Beal was hitting shots, we would probably be like 70% from the field, and that we'd be talking about how crazy it would be. And so I'm here for it. Like the win. First game back, ironically, our first game back with the big 3 was against the Hornets, and that was our first game that we got to see Kevin Durant play last year after the injury was against the Hornets. So that's a little coincidence for you guys there. That's always fun. And yeah, so I mean, I'm glad we got the dub. Glad the big 3's back. They look good on offense. Let's just fix the defense. If we can at least fix the defense somewhat to be serviceable, I think we got something. What do you think, Gabe?
Well, no, I pretty much agree with everything you said. You may be asking yourself, Gabe, was that pumpkin pie that you just went and got? And to that, I say yes.
Of course, this man just got pumpkin pie.
All right. My wife got me this pumpkin pie for Christmas, and she forgot to get whipped cream. I wasn't going to say nothing, though, because I still want to.
Yeah, you better not.
I still want to get my allowance, you know?
Your allowance. That's funny. Nah, but what did you think about Beal? Like you just, I mean, I'm sure you're gonna have the same answer I have, which is
kind of.
Yeah, he didn't do well, but you got to give him lenience. He just got back. The fact that he finished the game is enough for me right now.
Look, we've been barking up the we need a point guard tree. The man came in and gave you 7 assists.
Well, the man came and gave you 7 assists. Booger gave you 7, and Durant gave you 11.
Yep. So, I mean, that's another facilitator. He's going to be rusty.
If you can give me another facilitator off the bench, Saban Lee had 3, so we'll give our hats off to him, right? Like, Saban Lee gave us 3. Maybe, we're going to keep talking about Teo Maladon. Like, if he comes somehow gets some minutes and starts giving you more, I'll take that too. Our first full game with the big 3, seeing how they can facilitate. Durant having 11, Beal having 7, and Booker having 7. I'll take that. So now my next thing is bench. Who's going to facilitate up the bench? And let's be real, let's be honest about Saban Lee. I know we've been the big Saban Lee haters, but in this system, he looks fine.
Well, he's
with the
back
big
to
3,
playing,
he looks fine.
He's back to playing the way that he's, supposed to play. The way he was not playing that way.
The beginning of the season
for a while.
He definitely wasn't. Yeah, he definitely wasn't at the beginning of the season.
Preseason, all of it. He's just been like, "Hey, I'm in. That means it's my time to score." And he's not doing that, and he's actually pretty decent.
Yep. TT says no Teo minutes. Frank had a good opportunity here. He wasn't even active, so something tells me that they're still trying to get him acclimated with the team and minutes and stuff because he just was inactive. So, well, I think we'll get him eventually. We'll see him eventually, probably within the next week or two. We'll see him. And I can't wait to see him because I think he'll be fine. I think he'll be just as good or even better than Saban Lee's looked. And if he's just as good or even better, then you give him and Saban Lee contract. And I mean, to you Jordan Goodwin haters in the chat, you maybe cut your ties with Goodwin. I don't know.
Goodwin's playing himself out of a job.
Yep. I mean, he is playing himself. I mean, that's just facts. So, you know, I gotta be fair. I mean, I like Goodwin, but I'll be fair. If Teo comes in and Saban Lee continues to play like he does, and we get Teo and he does well, and Teo looks good, just as good on defense as Goodwin, but is also a better shooter and facilitator. Yeah, I mean, Goodwin's my guy from St. Louis. He's my guy. I like his style, but you know, he can go. You know, it's just one of those deals where at this point, we're 500. You got to do whatever you can to get yourself back in good shape and in playoff form ASAP. And so if Goodwin's not it, then Goodwin got to go. And that's how I feel. Same thing with Yuta, Bates Diop, even Nasir Little. If Nasir Little is on a cold streak, but I like Nasir Little. I think Nasir Little's fine. Him and even Okogie, as much as you know we like Josh Okogie, but dude can't shoot. Even a Josh Okogie can go. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just get the team together. You know, at this point, it's just whoever's going to play well, you're playing.
Remember,
right?
we're playing terrible defense when Okogie was gone. We were like, wow, maybe we do need Okogie. And then he came back and was like, dude, you can't even let him play because of how bad on offense he's become.
Yep. MacMan says Suns for 400% got to trade Allen. Why do we get 100% got to trade Allen?
Don't pay attention. That's probably Iverson. Mac's probably been Iverson this whole time.
Because I don't understand it. Unless you think Allen has a lot of value right now because he's playing well, you trade him. But I mean,
he could mean that.
He says 1 year, no cap space. I believe he's got one more year left beyond this. I think we get him for next year too. Nick says, Sundo, you think we're going to win against the Magic? I mean, we should. It's at home. They're coming here. It's their West Coast trip. It's their road trip.
Yeah, but we've been terrible at home.
So
we've been absolutely terrible at home, though, bro.
I mean, we just won this one, so.
Roy says, when can we sign as a BK to a guaranteed contract? I would think they can already do it. I'm pretty sure they're allowed to go ahead and anoint him whenever they're good and ready.
Yeah, you just gotta clear space for someone else. I believe they're waiting for D Lee to come back before they start making any permanent changes like that. That's what I think. And then I think they'll start, around that time. Around the trade deadline time, you'll start to see who's going to get the real contract. Because if I recall, that's when they did it with our boy 2 years ago.
Yeah, who did they guarantee? And we were like, Ish.
It was two.
It was Ish last year. They did it for Ish last year.
It was Ish last year around that time, but it was also 2 years ago.
Are you talking about Gabriel Lundberg?
Biombo came in on a 2-way 10-day.
Are you sure he did? He came in on a 10-day.
Biombo came in on 10-day, not a 2-way. And then they gave him a permanent. But Ish was the one that they ended up keeping and giving him a full contract for the playoffs. So you're right about that one.
For sure. Some dude says, what do you guys think we should do with Bull?
Cut him or make him a 2-way?
I think you got to trade him, bro. Remember,
or trade him. He's not.
I think you got to trade him.
Either way, he won't. Either way, he's not going to be here. That's the way I look at him.
As bad of a situation as we're in with assets being so low, I think if you could get a second round pick for him, you take it.
any sort of asset for him. In my opinion, you just get rid of him. I think
best case Spoon, yeah, you would trade him for a point guard, but that's a lot of things got to line up.
I think at this point, Goodwin, since he's cheap, Bol, maybe Yuta, maybe.
Yeah,
if Yuta can get it back together.
If Goodwin's played himself out of a job, then so has Yuta.
Then Yuta. And then Bates Diop, which I don't even think Bates Diop's played himself out. Bates Diop just all of a sudden they just said, I think they just had that we've seen enough. You know what I mean? That was what Bates Diop was. It was
certainly
we've seen enough.
I've certainly seen enough.
I didn't think Bates Diop played terrible. I don't think he played great either. But I don't think he played terrible. I think he was just there. So I guess that was enough for them to say, we've seen enough. He's not going to really tilt the scale one way or another. So
yeah,
that's probably the decision
KBD is like so disappointing as far as the way that he plays. Does not pass the eye test for me personally. I don't think he does for you either. He looks like
he was fine.
Okay, so he does pass it for you. For me, he looks like a player that's never dribbled a basketball before.
Fair enough. But I liked his headiness. I liked some of his decision making. He seemed to be in right spots. But once again, it's just like for me, he didn't move the needle. Like Metu moved the needle for me. Like when you saw Metu, you're like, okay, that's an athlete. He can drive a little bit. His jump shot looks great. You know what I mean? Like there are things that you can name about Metu where you're like, okay, that moves the needle for me. I can see why he's on the team. I like that potential there. Base deal, but it was just kind of like, you know what I mean? If he's on the team, he's on the team. If he's not, he's not. It didn't move it didn't bother me either way. You know what I mean? It was just one of those type of players. Like I could take him. Yeah. You could leave him, whatever, you know?
When you see his stats though, when you see Bates Diop's stats with the Spurs specifically, and then you see what they are here, it's disappointing. But like he just comes across to me like a guy that had never played basketball before, didn't even know what it was, and then some people came in and were like, hey, you're like the perfect size for a basketball player. And he's like, oh, what's basketball? And they explained it to him, and he's trying to go out there and do it like, you mean like this? Is this what you meant by Euro step? And it just looks gangly, uncoordinated. It's wild. Like, how did he score so much? How did he do so good for the Spurs, but he can't do dick for us?
To your point, Yuta kind of looks the same way. So, and that was one thing that we were sold about Yuta is that he was supposed to be a shooter, but Yuta gets cooked on defense and sometimes looks the same way.
Yuta looks like he is.
But because of my biases, because of my biases, I want to keep Yuta over KBD.
Right.
And I admit it's a bias.
Some dude says, do you guys think we should try to bring back Campaign? If he ever became available, I would want them to go out and get him 100%.
Where is he?
He's with the Bucks, and I think they're using him.
Oh, they're definitely using him as a backup point guard.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way. They're definitely using him as a backup point guard to Dame. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like, that dude's definitely playing minutes.
Roy says, Gabe, if we want Javon Carter, what do we give up? KBD and Bol. Hopefully you could get Javon Carter for one of them and a second round pick. But yeah, I would give up either because of the position and the way he plays defense and he's a point guard.
All right, so the last game he played, which was against the Cavs, he played 6 minutes and had 3 turnovers. That's the most campaign thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And then the game before that, he played 23 minutes, had 18 points. The game before that, he played 10. Game before that, played 14. Game before that, played 13. So he's getting decent minutes. So there's that.
Is Jay still with the Bucks, Chris? I kind of just assumed they were gonna. You never hear about him. I haven't seen a Jay Crowder highlight since he was with the Suns. On the Bucks. Is he pulling a lot of minutes? Is he?
Yeah.
What's he averaging?
He hasn't played since the 11th. That's the last time he saw the court. Not even this 11th. November 11th.
Wow.
So he's hurt.
Okay.
Jay Crowder suffered a left adductor and abdominal tear during Saturday's loss to the Magic. Will undergo surgery, so he's been out 2 months on an abdominal tear. So there you go. That sucks for him. That's a big bummer.
I think
that hurts.
I just think our team is on the right track, man. But the defense is so concerning. It makes me question: should I really be saying that?
What?
Our defense is so bad.
The defense is concerning. I'm not gonna lie to you. It really is, because what happens when you play a Nuggets team who is certainly going to stretch the floor out with the players that they have. I was gonna say stretch you out, but that's a big pause. So, they're gonna stretch the floor. I mean, any team in the West, if you look at it, like, let's just look at the Lakers. They're gonna be big and they're gonna stretch the floor out. The Kings definitely stretch the floor out against us. I almost said it again. Golden State Warriors, same thing. Even though we've managed to beat them every time, it's kind of crazy. Nuggets, Utah, even though they're not very good, but they got a lot of shooters too. So, you know what I mean? Like, every team in the West has the capability of doing what the Hornets just did to us, right?
Yeah.
So it definitely needs to get fixed. Like, it's something that has to be addressed, and it doesn't have to be perfect defense. It just has to be better than what it is. Like you said, would you say we were a butt naked last place on team defense?
Yeah. We were for a while there, if we're not still. Real Only
Crazy.
Goot says, you think TJ McConnell trade's possible? Question mark.
I mean, at this point, let me ask you this. Do you want TJ McConnell on this team?
Dude, are you kidding me? Of course.
Okay.
Course.
Let me put it this way.
Am I willing to give up what it will take?
The price that it would take to get TJ McConnell, would it be worth it to you to get TJ McConnell?
I don't see why we couldn't get him for seconds.
Because it's not going to, I mean, it's not going to be, I mean, because I'm pretty sure Indiana's not just going to accept seconds, because apparently he wants to be there.
Oh,
I like him.
I don't see why they would say no to Yuta and be like, yo, we'll give you guys a really good shooter. Maybe you guys can figure out how to use him. We can't figure it out. Or maybe we give him KBD and Bol Bol, or maybe they don't want Bol Bol. Maybe we give him, Goodwin and KBD.
I'm pretty sure the Pacers are really sick of us sending them big men, because it's really worked out for them.
That's true. Mac, that's just crazy, man. Like, I don't know how. I don't know if you know ball, Mac.
I think TJ would help this team. I just don't know if the price of admission is worth it.
Right, because
the price to get him.
Potential things standing in the way, you guys, is he doesn't want to leave. First of all, he's putting no pressure at all on the Pistons to trade him. He's like, I'm fine.
I'm gonna tell you that it's gonna take Nasir Little. Nasir Little has to be involved in the trade. Just because we talked about this, like, the contracts were eerily close. Remember, it would be him and maybe like a Jordan Goodwin to match, but that'd be what it would take, plus a second or something, or 2 seconds.
Mac, I watch Pacers games. Actually, I do, because their jerseys are sick as hell, and they're a fun team with Halliburton, and they play some hard basketball. So I've seen quite a few games of theirs this season. I know he doesn't play much with them, but he's like the perfect backup insurance, and the way he plays is perfect for what we need. Romp's trying to go at you again. He didn't learn his lesson last time.
I mean, at this point, it's just child's play. So I do not care anymore. So I mean, you say all you want. It's just child's play at this point. Rompy romp, or should I say, pillar of the black community romp?
He wants to be a pillar.
Wants to be.
Michael Potter says just keep playing KD at point guard. That will wear KD out if you actually have him bringing the ball up the court.
I mean, what happened today seemed like a good balance between the three. Beal would bring it up sometimes, and KD would set up. Booker would bring it up sometimes, and then the other two would set up. And then KD would bring it up sometimes, and the other two would set up. And then you brought in a Saban Lee to basically handle the ball instead of them. Whatever they did today seemed to work. And that's what I'm saying. Like, if Saban Lee can do it in that system, then we don't need to make a trade. Just see if T.O. Maladon, who, by the way, has the Lon Wright comparison with, that's what people were saying about him, right? When we watched the scouting report in a poor man's SGA, like, just see what he's got before we make any decisions to trade. Like, just see what they got, because
that's true.
I'm telling you, like, because Saban Lee did fine as long as he was around the big three. Let's see what Teo does around the big three. See how it works out. You don't know, like, I think it'll be fine. But I'm not a basketball expert, so don't take that to the day. Don't take my analysis to the bank. Take a Torrey Jones analysis to the bank. But my eye test tells me like it would work out and it would be okay and it would be fine. I think right now, if there is an answer that's in a trade, it's not going to be anything major. It would be like maybe a DeLon Wright, but I think we got DeLon Wright at home. Like I mentioned in the video. Hey Dot says we need a lengthy PG that can play defense. Hey Gabe, who is a lengthy point guard that can play defense?
What's Javon Carter's wingspan? We had a comment from Roy, baby boy toy, Joy's boy Roy, a couple of his back. He said, I might sound like Ivy, but Beal being a liability with his injury, shouldn't we explore some trades? I know he has a no trade clause, but can we explore what offers there are? What do you think about that?
For Beal?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure.
All you're doing is pissing him off. I mean, one way or another.
Yes.
Here's
deal. Here's what Beal's not going anywhere. And I'm going to tell you why. Because one, no trade clause. Two, like, if you watch, his wife has like a vlog about their, like, they just got the Phoenix. They don't want to go anywhere. Like, he's not waiving it. He's not going to waive it, like, for family reasons. Like, they're staying there at least for the season. It's not happening. So I just feel like you need to just, unless you go to some place that he absolutely wants to go to, like a Miami, for example, or something like that, then yeah, you look at it. But he's not just going anywhere.
Yeah, like if the Lakers come in with a big trade and they're going to give us Vando and Rui Hachimura-san, hey! Or
my favorite Colin Castleton. I'm just joking.
Or Colin Castleton. Then maybe you could go to Beal and say, "Listen, brother, with all due respect, and we won't."
Would you like to go to LA?
Yeah. They're offering us something. Is this, how do you feel about this? We're not like really thinking we're gonna do it. We just wanted to float it. I don't know.
Matt says, I feel like, yeah, I agree with you here. I feel like a KD trade is more realistic than a Beal trade and the value we get. Yeah, that's more like Beal. Just pretend like Beal's not. Just know that Beal's not going anywhere, bro. Like, unless he absolutely has to. So like, let's just quit talking about Beal trades until that actually becomes a reality. Like, if you see it in the news, let's just not even talk about it because it's more than likely not going to happen.
What you need to worry about is how this team is going to get better at defense.
Right. Well, no, DC, I'm just saying, I don't think anybody's getting traded. But what I'm saying is a Beal trade is not going to happen because of that clause. His wife wants to stay here. Go watch their vlog. They seem to be fine. Like, they're not going anywhere. And then a KD trade is more likely than a Beal trade because of there's no clause there. But KD's not going anywhere because we gave up all those assets to get him, and this team wants to see what they have and see if they can go for the championship. So KD's not going anywhere either, you know. So like I'm saying, like like I told you, no move. There's not going to be a major move happen at the trade deadline. It's going to be something small, minimal, to just bolster the team. And like me and Gabe said in our video with Tia, I think they're going to attempt to find a boost on other players. Like they're going to try to find diamonds in the rough. Like they have to at this point. You have to either use them second round picks to find a diamond in the rough, or you have to just get two-way players to get a diamond, or you have to sign a vet. You know what I mean? But I don't think a trade is what's going to happen. Right.
DC said we win and we talk about trades.
Yeah,
LOL.
like I don't think a trade is like, it's just.
Well, you can see that there's still something lacking. Okay, here's why, DC, because we've all, including you, been down this road before. We've seen what good, not great, good but not good enough gets you. It gets you fucking sumo wrestler belly bounced out of the ring in the playoffs. We need to be better than what we are. We're giving up 119 to the Hornets with no LaMelo.
Well, I get that. And like I said, I think we'll fix it, but I don't think we'll be world beaters on defense, but I think we'll be good enough. But like Matt Hayes just said, we need time. And yeah, I'm with DC. Like, we win a game, and why are we talking about trades when we just got to see the big three for the first time, right? And we're only talking about trades because some people in the chat are asking. It's not like me and Gabe are like, oh, we need to make a trade. Like, we're just talking because it's been asked in the chat. Also, like, I'm telling you right now, I'm going to be T.O. Maladon's biggest champion until we see him, just like I was Udoka's biggest champion until we saw him. Like, I believe the changes that we need to see are on this team. Give it time. It'll happen. And if not, then it's going to be a signing. I hate to say this, but it'll be a signing like John Wall or something like that. You know what I mean? I hate to say that, but that'll be the other change too. I don't think there'll be a major trade. I think the TJ McConnell stuff keeps coming up because a certain owner wants that player. And I think that's the only reason why. And those talks keep happening. And he's not wanting to go anywhere.
They don't have any reason necessarily to get rid of him.
They don't have any reason to get rid of him.
They're going to get some inflated. They're going to get some inflated. Not what's the word I'm looking for? Like when they have the like strong side of the trade. Like what's the word I'm looking for? Leverage. You couldn't come up with the word leverage from what I was describing.
I was reading the chat. Sorry.
God damn.
Sorry. The real only Goot says D'Angelo Russell trade. We don't have assets to get D'Lo from the Lakers. We're talking first, and it's not.
Well,
happening.
I don't think Roy Romp. What do you think it would cost? Your Lakers talk with Romp. You do a lot of Lakers videos.
I'm talking at least a first.
What would it cost to get D'Lo? Players,
but the Lakers will not. That's not happening. D'Lo's trade's not happening.
Roy
John Wall is literally equal to TJ McConnell. Well, then get John Wall. You know what I mean?
Up, Romp. That is a lie. that's reverse racism.
He's just D'Lo, even less defense. What we doing exactly? Michael says it's simple. Would you rather have CP3 and DA over Beal and Nurkic against the Nuggets in a Game 7 series?
Nah.
Can we have that?
Nah. Because Chris Paul won't be there, and DA will wish he wasn't there.
But
Nah.
Be there too. So that's also CP3 and Beal to me is a wash. Nurkic over DA.
Yeah. I think for me, I put Beal over CP3.
Roy says, Gabe, would you like to return to Torrey Craig? Yes, we would.
Hell yes. We do need a wing. I saw someone else saying that, and he would be a great re-addition for the third time.
Yes, we would. Gabe and Sundo, we need a small forward who can shoot. Well, we were supposed to have plenty of that, which is why we picked the players who we did, which is why we picked up a Yuta, a Bates Diop, which is why we got Metu. Like, we wanted those guys in that size to be able to shoot. It just hasn't worked out. but we still have Gordon and Allen shooting, so they're that. But like what you just said was what we were sold with all the moves we made in the offseason about the players that we got, and they just haven't worked out. But also at the same time, like, what do we expect from minimum players? I did not. It says you guys go ahead.
We'll go back to that one. So Dragod said, "Did you guys hear Beal post game? He said we were trash defensively. I didn't hear that, but
I mean, he's not wrong. He knows.
He ain't saying nothing wrong.
He's there. They've been trash defensively.
He watches.
So they got to
it
figure that out. I mean, he's watched it from the bench. The rotations are bad. They leave the top of the key wide open. They play this weird 3-2. They play this weird 3-2 shell on man defense. It's just weird how they play. I don't understand it.
Basketball and soccer freestyler says, if we need a PG so badly, why don't we trade for Pat Bev? And we need, don't mention that name. And we need Wings Covington, which, yes, we have enough assets. So, Romp, if you're still in here, what do you think about the Suns being able to trade for Pat Bev? Could they? Should they? Would they? And so I'll take my bias out of it. Let's just do this from a basketball perspective.
Yes, do this from a basketball perspective.
I think that he's played too well for the Sixers and meant too much to them that they wouldn't be willing to give him up for something that we ain't got money-wise. And I know that sounds kind of crazy, but he does change cultures for teams. And he's helped change culture with Kelly Oubre there. And they're a special team now. They're not like they used to be where it was like you could count them out in the end because you knew they weren't going to get over the hump. They could get over the hump this year. They're thrashing teams. They're playing defense. And they have the reigning MVP. So they don't want to fuck with that, what they got going.
Michael, I disagree. I think Pat Bev is a good culture guy. He plays hard, and you want that kind of guy on your team. He's annoying when you play against him, and a guy like Pat Bev, you got to have on a competitive team. Of course, if he's on a terrible team, he's gonna ruin it because he doesn't want to be there. But if he's on a good team that's winning, it's fine. Like, nobody on the Clippers really complained about him on the team for the longest time.
You want to
hear started losing.
You want to hear a wild racist comment that I just got on Twitter?
Oh my gosh.
Somebody just responded. No, I didn't say it. Somebody responded to me with it. I like how you just assume I'm the one shooting it out there. God dang. Okay. So I said, and I posted that video of Grayson Euroing. And I said, I'm convinced Grayson Allen is at least 5% black. Okay? Got a lot of responses here. One of them is, and I only halfway feel comfortable reading this. One of them said, does that mean any black, not black person, black, is smart? Any black that is smart is at least 5% white.
I hate X, bro.
Shut up. It's not always like
so
that.
Bad.
It has not.
So bad, dude.
Woo! And it's funny because Twitter was hiding it from me. I had to click show other replies, and I showed it. So Twitter knew. Twitter knew to hide that one. Anywho's it. You were saying, dear sir.
Sorry, hold on.
You responding to your cousin again?
No, my friend.
Let's see here.
Caleb just realized that he got gifted a membership. I'm dead. That was a long time ago, by the way.
If we get this version of Gordon and Grace in the rest of the season, we're going to climb right back to the top of the standings. Not the tippy
Yeah,
top.
we just got to play defense. We just got to start playing defense. And if what Beal said is true, if they start working on it, we'll be fine. So hopefully we can turn it around. Like I said, it doesn't have to be the top 10 defense. It's just got to be better than 32 or 30. Sorry,
I'm gonna go out on a prediction branch, and I'm gonna say that the Suns never fix their defense. It feels like something that's unfixable with the current players they have.
Well, I just said that. Like,
when did you say that?
When you were taking your dogs out. What did I say?
Okay.
I said I felt like it's going to be hard to turn them around because it's more of a cultural and a mindset thing, and I feel like in a good habit thing. And if you haven't been practicing those habits all season, how are you going to all of a sudden change it around during the playoffs if you think you are? So it's got to get so. I don't think it'll get changed, but it could if they start really, really doing it. But it's going to take a major overhaul and a major mindset of the team in the middle of the season to change it, which is possible, but they're going to have to want to change it.
I just don't think they have the parts to do it.
Or it could be just terrible coaching also. It could be that. But I think a lot of it is they're not contesting threes and they're not beating screens and they're letting dudes shoot wide open threes and poor rotations.
When I was younger and played basketball and I had some lateral quickness, I would get beat on defense, and it was because my mindset was wrong. I like to do the thing where a person looks like they're going to drive and you reach behind them and try to tap the ball out, which sometimes works. But I was just such a shitty defender, and I just would get beat. But I could slide if I was in that mindset and had the wind, which neither of them did I have, right? But now that I'm older, I'm 36 playing basketball, sometimes when someone goes to blow past me, I physically can't keep up with them. Now, it's gotten better, but when I first got back into basketball, I would get blown by and I would think to myself, my body physically is just too slow. I kind of fear that that's what the Suns are dealing with. Players that just aren't good enough to slide on defense and get back into position.
That's possible. I mean, you're playing Grayson Allen and Eric Gordon and KD, and Booker's body's not getting younger, and Bradley Beal. I mean, that's very possible. But once again, there's a difference between my body can't do this and mentally staying ahead of the game. You know what I mean? Like there is a difference there of the mind games of playing defense and the physical aspect of playing defense, right? Like leaving a dude open on a corner three, or leaving dudes open and not rotating is not I can't physically do that. It's I just not doing it, and I'm not in the right position to do that. How many dudes are wide open in the corner and a guy's on the elbow and he's got to run to the corner? Like, why didn't you just stick on the corner? But you're over helping. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that one play where Alexander had the ball and Grayson was there playing defense, it looked good, and then he dribbled, he fumbled the ball. Him and the guy defending him collapsed on him the double to get the ball back. He picks it up, passes it the corner wide open. It's just things like that. Like, you got to know that your teammate is going to play the ball. You need to stick to your man. Just things like that is what this team always, falls for. We double in weird situations and leave a dude wide open. Why are you doubling there? You don't need to double there. So, yeah, TC, they really need to trust each other and not overextend. I mean, that's one big aspect of it. And so I think more so than a physical thing, it's just a mental thing. And like I said, a good habits thing. And you got to change those habits. And I just don't think changing those sort of habits is an easy task. But they got to get coached into it. So if the coaching doesn't do it, then mess.
So maybe, I'm not saying it will be, but maybe, hopefully, it's a situation where it's going to take more like the entirety of like maybe like 3/4 of the season, and then you might start to see the Suns getting it together because of Go ahead.
I think now that we have Beal back, knock on wood. I keep saying that because I don't want to, we got
Please
one good
keep
game with
knocking.
them. I think we'll continue to see the team look better and how it's supposed to look, the way it's supposed to be constructed.
Right.
We're not going to have Grayson Allen starting most games. We might actually from here on out. I don't think Okogie's starting any more games moving forward. If he does, it's just because they're going to front load that offense, that starting lineup with so much talent, having Beal, Booker, Durant, and Nurk. And then you just say, okay, Okogie guard the best player on the floor, right? Like that'd be the only way he starts. But we'll see the changes now with Beal in. I think we'll start to see it.
Quick, I just want to say this so that you can maybe remind me in case I forget. I think what I'm going to do is just use this setup and make the top look like the Gamecast so that we never have to change screens. That could be an insurance fix, right?
I mean, I think a bigger screen and smaller pictures of us.
I'm gonna end up making a different setup for the stream anyway, so I guess I shouldn't worry about it. But I'll do that in the future. One that's universal and it doesn't need to change.
So, but I will say this: good to have Beal back. Can't wait to get even more healthier. Get Okogie and Little back, and we can actually see what this team looks like with a full roster. Like I've been telling people, like give it some time. It just sucks that we keep losing, but once this team gets back to full, it'll look different, and we'll have a little bit more fun. And 2 games in, we're starting to have a little bit more fun. Keep knocking on wood that we keep having that fun. It's good to see players like Udoka step up and play. Hopefully we get to see more of that from another player. Maybe Saban Lee doesn't completely kick the bucket and continues to play well. Because I'm not gonna lie, I'm enjoying seeing him in his limited minutes. He doesn't look bad. Can't wait to see Damian Lee come back. I don't know what the word is on him, but I know it's
I would think
it's got to be relatively soon.
After New Year's.
Yeah, it's got to be relatively soon. I know meniscus isn't that long. It's been 3 months. So it's got to be, soon.
I haven't really seen any videos of him playing in practice, though.
I know we got to see him, a month ago walking.
Right.
And they made a big hoopla about that. So, I mean, we'll see him soon. But
Hate out with a great point. Like, let's wait until they play a contender like the Celtics or Bucks. We're not ready to play a team. We're not ready to beat a team like that, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, well, here's the deal. Let's look at the
Unless
schedule.
we're hot and they're not.
What I like about what's happening right now is that this home stretch that we have, it's a home stretch of, I don't want to say lesser opponents because we weren't playing that well either.
But it is.
But it's teams that you should beat. So Charlotte at home, Orlando, who we just played, Orlando on Sunday, Portland on Monday. The Clippers will be the only kind of harder team that we play in Miami. Like that's where it starts to get rough. The Clippers, Heat, and then the Grizzlies. So that will be when we get to see some tests. But I like the fact that we have Charlotte, Orlando, Portland to sort of give us time with the big 3 back, right? I think Orlando is good, but Orlando is also beatable, and that's kind of the point I'm trying to make. Like Orlando is really long and athletic, and that's what scares me about them. Like Blanchero, Wagner. Who else is on this team? Let me click over here and look. Wendell Carter, Markelle Fultz. Yeah. They fixed Markelle Fultz. Remember that? That guy was supposed to be a bum. They fixed his jumper.
Right. Maybe that's a Bull revenge game. Maybe Bull
your
gets
boy
to play
Jonathan
that game.
Isaac.
My boy Jonathan Isaac. I love 3 things in this world. Wait, this isn't gonna make sense. I was trying to turn it around on you, but now I was just gonna make myself look like the MAGA
idiot.
Sundo likes 2 things in this world. Is how I should have said it, and I'll cut that other part. All right, I'm gonna start fresh. folks. Sundo likes 2 things in this world: Jonathan Isaac and the Daily Wire. All right, go ahead. You were saying? We'll be right back, folks. He's done some work with the Daily Wire. That's why I bring it up.
Gabe just putting my business out there. No, I'm kidding.
Chris goes, Hail Hydra? I'm dead.
Anyway, nah, man. I mean, good game. I think we can use this home stretch to really get things together before we got to go on a road trip to LA. It's crazy that we get to stay in LA for 3 days. And so Monday, January 8th, we play the Clippers, and then we play the Lakers in LA on that Thursday. So that team's going to be in LA for 3 days just partying. That's going to be fun. I'm pretty sure we're going to lose one of those games at least.
To who now?
The Lakers, and then the Clippers, and then the Lakers.
Bro, but what if we win both those games? We're capable.
I know, but what I'm saying is that team is definitely not coming back to Phoenix between. They're going to stay in LA all 3 of those days.
Oh, yeah.
There is no way. They're going to LA to play in Staples against the Clippers, and then 3 days later they play the Lakers. I ain't leaving. And we're probably going to have a Scott Foster game too.
Basketball says, Gabe, what do you think the perfect scenario for us in the playoffs? The perfect scenario is not having to play the Nuggets, someone else knocking them out, because I won't ask for injury, but let's just say any team. We need teams ahead of, like, teams in there with us to the same. We need some luck. We'll probably need some luck along the way, just like we had when we made it to the finals. AD went down. Kawhi wasn't available versus the Clippers, and Jamal Murray wasn't available when we went versus the Nuggets. Like, we're gonna need fate to be on our side, I think.
So right now we're a play-in team at the 9 seed. The Lakers are 8. That's crazy. I didn't realize that.
Can we just pause for a second? And can you imagine if we lost a play-in tournament game, win one, and you're in the tournament? Could you imagine Iverson in the chat? Could you imagine anyone in the chat?
Just stop. I refuse. I believe we're going to go on a win streak, and then that won't happen. But that's just me. But I think it'll happen. But
we didn't think we'd be in this position now.
Relax, Gabe.
The West.
We'll make it work.
The West is fierce. That's right. I said fierce. All right.
The fact that the Timberwolves and the OKC are on top, like, don't get me wrong, I respect both of those teams. They got a lot of young talent. That just in the Nuggets are 3 just goes to show that the veteran teams are sort of having issues this season, and then the younger, more energized teams are playing well. And I think that'll flip eventually later, because experience shows during the later time of the season, especially during the playoffs. So we'll give it time, bro. We'll give it time.
So, yeah, T-Wolves, I mean, no disrespect. I guess it is disrespectful. I just don't believe in them. Thunder.
That's my point. Like, the Wolves and the Thunder, like, yes, they're younger teams that are playing very well.
Maybe they end up not falling out, but I can't imagine they both end up staying in the top 2.
We'll see.
That could be recency bias.
And Nuggets are 2 games behind the Thunder. It's kind of wild.
Right. Clippers up there.
Another veteran team. The Kings, another sort of veteran team. They're kind of young, but they're kind of in the middle. But they're still there. Mavericks. Luka and Kyrie, another veteran team. Pelicans, Zion, and a bunch of vets. You know what I mean? Lakers, veteran team. Suns, veteran team. So, like, I think we'll play ourselves out of the play-in spot.
I would hope so, but can you imagine the stress?
But can you imagine the stress if we had to be in a play-in? I know it would be the worst experience. It's something that I prefer not to do.
Be incredible,
bro. Epic Thunder. That's not what I'm saying. I do have faith in your team. What I'm saying is we've seen plenty of examples of young teams like
it's just the youth.
We've had plenty of young teams like that be on fire in the season, and then toward the end collapse or just get murked in the playoffs because of
or just get passed up a little bit. I'm only saying, like, I can see you guys, dropping a few spots in the rankings, but still being a clear playoff team. And that's just youth. They're going to have to prove that's not what the situation is. And if they do, we'll crown them.
But we are both SGA fans over here in Sons of Podcast.
Oh yeah,
we love SGA a lot.
And Lindy Waters. We like Lou Dort.
Lou.
Love Lou Dort. ASU grad.
All right, you have anything else to add? Because your boys gotta go to the bathroom.
Just looking for the schedule here to see what we have ahead of us.
OG.
Other than the Magic.
We have the Magic next, then we have the Blazers at home. And then after that, then we have the Clippers at home, the Heat at home, and then the Grizzlies at home. And then we go to LA.
Could be on a 4-game win streak going into LA. I hope we will be. We got to pay Portland back. We got to pay your boy Torrey Jones back.
Sure.
Because they beat us down.
Sure. We got to pay him back. It's the last game of the season, too, against them, so decide to sweeps the series.
No. We got one more on the 14th.
Do we? Oh, never mind.
Yeah, that'll be probably the last one. But anywho, folks, Sundo's got a tinkle. We appreciate you guys coming out. Sundo, you get another Suns win moment.
I can't believe it. It's been a while, right? It's been a while.
2 in a row.
It's a good
3
Suns
in a row.
win. Not a struggle Suns win, but a good Suns win. So here we go, baby. Suns win. Suns win.
Horsemen.
Oh my gosh, we're about to go on a 10-game winning streak. Michael Porter says, the Suns are so great. Oh my gosh, guys, we got the big 3 back.